What up and what's happening? It's your boy Wall Street back again, ready to talk that talk about the league, the association. And today we're going to cover a headline that I assume many of you have already heard about. But Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat do not jive. They are not twinning right now. And they are not really winning right now either. Pretty mediocre. They are currently sitting, in the playoff race in the Eastern Conference. I believe they're in 6th place right now. Yeah, the 6th seed overall. They are currently sitting at 17-15 on the season, 12 games back of the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are currently at 30-4 on the season. So shout out to the Cavaliers. But let's talk about Jimmy Butler, because I don't know what's going on. Some sort of, obviously management and Jimmy and his camp are not getting along. And as The Weeknd said in Crew Love, off of Drake's great album, Take Care, this shit about to blow like a C4, because there's no way in hell that Jimmy Butler is going to be on this Heat team in, let's say, 2 weeks' time. I don't think that'll be the case. I think he is out the door as soon as possible. But I do not think the Heat are going to get bullied in terms of a trade negotiation, which is kind of what, most teams get lured into when their, players publicly request trades, because at that point it's like the cat's out of the bag. You're going to have to trade him, so teams are going to say, okay, well, you're going to have to trade this guy anyway, so you might as well give it to us for a bargain. And Pat Riley does not do that. So let's take it back, right? Let me give you guys some context. So this, I think, started all the way back towards the end of last season, where Jimmy Butler was out during the playoff series where the Heat were playing the Celtics. I believe it was the first round of the playoffs. And Jimmy Butler was out. I think he went out I think he played some of the series. I honestly can't remember, but he was out for the majority of the series. And the Heat winded up losing the series to the Celtics, who eventually went on to win the NBA championship. And Pat Riley basically said publicly there, that if you're not playing Jimmy, then you should shut up. And, he said it in a little bit of a different way, but it was in a press conference, and that clearly did not resonate well with Jimmy. And that's when this whole sort of trade speculation started to happen. This has really been going on since the summer. And now, fast forward to the start of the season, Jimmy Butler's, in and out of the rotation. He hasn't played every single game. He's, played 22 games on the season, and he's having, frankly, the worst season he's had in terms of production since his 3rd year in the league. He's currently averaging 17.6 points per game, 1.2 steals, 0.4 blocks, 4.7 assists, 5.5 rebounds per game, shooting 79% from the free throw line, shooting 37.5% from 3, and 55% from the field, which is interesting because that's obviously a good stat. I don't think he's ever shot above 55% in his entire career, for a season. Obviously, it's still early, but the best shooting percentage he's had from the field in his entire career was in the 22-23 season, where he shot 53.9% from the field in 64 games that season. So he's also playing a lot less minutes, the least amount of minutes he's played since his 2nd year in the league, at 30.8. And he's taking the least amount of shots he's taken per game since his 3rd year in the league at 10.5. In his 3rd year in the league, he was taking 10.3 shots per game and averaging 13.1 points per game in that season. So he's averaging more points, taking less shots than what he's used to, though. So clearly he still wants to be a star player. He's getting a little bit older in age, obviously. He's 35 right now. And He is currently under contract for about $47 million this season and has a player option for $52 million next season. So I think that helps his tradability a little bit, knowing that he's not just on an expiring contract. He has an option that he can pick up. And frankly, I don't know if any team is going to give Jimmy Butler $52 million. And Jimmy is similar to LeBron in the sense that he has never taken a pay cut in his entire career in terms of, year after year. He has always gotten a raise in his salary. His salary has gone up every single year since his rookie year, which was the 2011 to 2012 season with the Chicago Bulls. So he is... he's trying to make the most out of it, and I understand that. You have guys like Paul George that just got signed to huge deals, and he's, basically the same age as Jimmy, might be a year older. And I can understand, advocating for yourself as a player and all that stuff, but I think it's gotten a little out of hand. And the whole back and forth with his agent and the team and his agent and Shams and, other reporters, it just doesn't make any sense. And it's been crazy because we knew that he wanted to get traded. Like, this is a horribly kept secret in the NBA. We knew he wanted to get traded. And now, in the midst of all of this, the agent's like, oh no, these guys are reporting this and that's not what happened. And then Pat Riley comes out and he's like, to make it clear, we're not trading Jimmy Butler. He said that verbatim, right? That was like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, but very recently. And then Jimmy has this bad game against, I think it was against the Pelicans, I want to say, where he put up 9 points and, didn't really do much. He's put up 9 points in his last 2 games, right? So they played Indiana on January the 2nd, played the New Orleans Pelicans on January the 1st, put up 9 points in each of those games, taking 5 shots in 25 minutes against the Pelicans and taking 6 shots against the Pacers. It's just like he's not playing like himself at all. And game before that, played against OKC on December the 20th, only played 7 minutes in that game. I believe he left with injury or something, but didn't score a point. So, but the game before that, an overtime loss, 1 point loss at Detroit, put up 35 points. And also had 19 rebounds and 10 assists. So, he's capable. He's clearly capable. I just don't know if someone's going to pay him $50+ million on, a 3-year deal. I don't see that happening. And I think he could probably still make $30 million, right? But, I get it. His playing career is coming to an end. He's got, let's say, a couple more years left. He's been injured rather frequently. He wants to get his. But at the same time, Pat Riley is not going to allow this man to kind of be this big distraction for the team. So Jimmy Butler is going to get traded. That's, the sun's going to come up and Jimmy Butler is going to get traded. Those are both true statements of the same magnitude. It's a foregone conclusion at this point. And, he can still help a team, but I don't think the Heat are going to send him to a team that, he wants to be on. I don't think they give a shit at this point. They'll send him wherever the hell they want. And, frankly, knowing Pat Riley, I feel like he might send Jimmy to, the Pelicans or, let's say the Trailblazers or the Jazz. Just any team that, frankly, might be looking to get a guy who's might be on an expiring deal or close to expiring deal, and they're trying to rebuild. And, maybe they'll get some draft picks with Jimmy. That would make it enticing, right? But, I could see the Pelicans honestly trading for Jimmy Butler, right? Brandon Ingram has been in every single trade rumor since the dawn of time, and DeJounte Murray could honestly be on the block. Everybody on that team is available. Zion, right? I could see the Heat making a trading Jimmy Butler for Zion Williamson or Brandon Ingram or a combination of the two of them. And the Pelicans are they're the worst team in the league right now, right? So that would just be a nice little send-off from Pat Riley to Jimmy Butler. So, but Jimmy clearly wanted the extension with Miami. Pat Riley wasn't going to do that. Pat Riley let Dwayne Wade walk. Like, he's not going to give Jimmy Butler an extension if he's letting Miami Heat legend Dwayne Wade walk, right? Dwayne Wade's probably the best player in Miami Heat's history. And Jimmy Butler's done some great things for the Heat, right? They've done some impeccable things. They've been to the finals twice with him. But he's not Dwayne Wade. And even if he was, Pat Riley's still not going to pay that money to an aging player. He's just not going to do it. And it hasn't worked out with Jimmy. He's given him, frankly, a longer timeline and leash than he does for most players. And it just hasn't really worked out. So I don't necessarily blame either side, but it's just been a wild situation. Like Jimmy's interview where he was talking about, I think it was after the game with the Pelicans or the Pacers. And, they were asking him, about playing basketball. He's like, well, I want to get my joy back on the court. I still want to be dominant. And then they ask him point blank, they're like, well, is that possible in Miami? And he says, probably not. And that was it. And he gets up, he leaves. So it just felt like a 2K My Player, from like NBA 2K15 or 16. Like, it just felt like one of those press conferences where it's like, oh, we heard you're wanting to get traded. And you're like, yeah, I'm fucking out. Like, it's just like some silly stuff. But, I'm interested to see where he goes. I know his list of possible trade destinations includes like the Dallas Mavericks, the Golden State Warriors. I think he also, said something about the Houston Rockets. I think the Rockets would be a good team for him as well, but I wouldn't say it's worth giving up that young core that you have there, right? Like maybe they'll trade Reed Shepherd to the Miami Heat. Reed Shepherd's not getting any playing time, was the 3rd overall pick in this past year's draft. So I could see that being a attractive, trade option for Pat Riley, but who knows? I really don't know what they're going to do, but it's going to be interesting. And Jimmy Butler is going to get traded. He will absolutely be traded in the near future. At the very latest, it will be by the deadline of February 8th, I believe it is. It might be February 6th this year, but it's that first week of February or so. That's when the trade deadline is going to come around. But they suspended Jimmy for 7 games without pay. He's going to lose about $2.4 million because of that. And the NBA Players Association is filing a grievance against the Miami Heat because they believe that this is an unjust consequence that he is being faced with. And I think that rationale is because, Jimmy said all of this stuff after Pat Riley was like, we're not trading Jimmy Butler. So I guess they're taking the argument that like Pat Riley started this first by taking this publicly, but I think he was just trying to dismiss the rumors. Right. I don't know if that's a case that's really going to hold up with the NBA. I think, Adam Silver typically rules in favor of the teams as opposed to the players. But we'll see how it goes. But it's definitely going to be an interesting couple of weeks. I'm excited to see how the Miami Heat look, come February. And, we'll see what happens. I'm actually going down to Miami. Was going to go and try to see a Heat game, and it'll be interesting to see if Jimmy's still on the team by that point. But I'm going to take the bet that he's probably not going to be on the team at that point. But we'll see what happens. We'll certainly see what happens. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about this situation? Where do you think Jimmy Butler is going to get traded to? Where would you like to see him go? And do you think he can still help a team and, be dominant, as he was saying? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave some comments down below. As always, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys with the next one. Stay safe, stay warm. This cold front is taking over the United States right now. So stay warm, stay bundled up, do what you gotta do. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.